Cuba joining the BRICS alliance is a big and important change for the country. It's also a big deal for the world's economy. For over 60 years, Cuba has shown how strong it is even with economic sanctions, mostly from the United States. These sanctions made it hard for Cuba to trade with other countries, improve its infrastructure, and be a big part of the global economy. But now, as a new member of BRICS, Cuba is starting a new chapter in its economic and political story. This changes Cuba's role in international trade and its place in the changing world, where power is shifting away from just the United States to a more diverse group of countries. The BRICS alliance, made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, makes up more than 45% of the world's total economic output, and its members are some of the most important growing economies on the planet. These countries came together to help each other grow their economies, work together in politics, and change the way international financial institutions work, which have been mostly controlled by Western countries. BRICS is important not just because of its economic power, but also because it challenges the way the global economy works, which is currently led by the United States and other Western nations. This group has created new financial options, like the New Development Bank, which gives loans to developing countries without the strict rules that institutions like the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank have. Cuba's decision to join this alliance is not random. It's a smart move in response to being isolated and held back by international sanctions. BRICS doesn't just give Cuba a way to improve its economy, it also gives Cuba a chance to redefine its place in the world and rely less on Western financial systems. For over 60 years, Cuba has been under a strict economic embargo by the United States, which aimed to keep Cuba separate from the rest of the world and stop its economic growth. This embargo severely limited Cuba's ability to trade with other countries, restricted its foreign investments, and discouraged trade with many countries because the United States threatened to punish them if they traded with Cuba. Despite these challenges, Cuba has managed to survive over the years, but at a significant cost. Cuba joining BRICS is a major turning point in its economic history. This new status gives Cuba the opportunity to interact directly with the world's largest economies, making it easier to access new trade opportunities, investment, and international cooperation. Being part of this alliance will also allow Cuba to bypass the traditional barriers imposed by the financial system dominated by the US dollar, allowing smoother transactions with other nations and promoting trade in alternative currencies. This is a crucial advantage because it allows Cuba to participate in global trade without having to rely on the traditional financial system, which has often been an obstacle to its economic development. Furthermore, Cuba is known for its ability to innovate in sectors such as biotechnology, healthcare, and education. These sectors, where Cuba has a strong competitive advantage, can now be an integral part of the collaborative projects that BRICS promotes both scientifically and commercially. Cuba joining BRICS could have several potential effects on the global economy and geopolitics. Here are some of the most important impacts. Access to new markets and financing. One of the most important aspects of Cuba's BRICS membership is access to new trade markets. Cuba, with its strategic location in the Caribbean and its historical ties to Latin America, now has the potential to expand its trade relations in Africa and Asia, where BRICS member countries have a strong presence. Additionally, Cuba's inclusion in the alliance provides access to alternative financing mechanisms, such as the New Development Bank, which offers credit lines to member countries and other emerging economies. These financial resources are crucial for the development of infrastructure, technology, and industrial projects within Cuba. Transformation of the energy system. Cuba can also benefit from the experience of BRICS members in the energy sector, particularly regarding renewable energy. China, India, and Russia are key players in the transition to cleaner energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. With BRICS's help, Cuba could modernize its outdated energy infrastructure, which would significantly contribute to its long-term economic development. Furthermore, the possibility of developing joint renewable energy projects with other members of the alliance would open up new opportunities for cooperation and sustainability, aligning Cuba with the growing global demand for cleaner and more efficient energy solutions. Reactivation of international trade and access to new alliances. Cuba, through its port of Mariel, is positioned as a strategic point in global trade, especially between Latin America and the rest of the world. This port is being developed as a key logistics center for international trade, and with BRICS's support, Cuba could further enhance its infrastructure and commercial capabilities. Mariel could become a gateway for BRICS products and resources to Latin America, further elevating Cuba's geopolitical importance in the region. Moreover, Cuba's geographical proximity to markets in North and South America, coupled with its growing logistics capacity, can solidify its role as a key player in global supply chains. The island has a rich tradition in sectors such as biotechnology, medicine, and agriculture, allowing it to participate significantly in regional and international cooperation projects promoted by BRICS. Development of new geopolitical alliances. In the geopolitical context, Cuba's entry into BRICS also has significant implications. Russia's support for Cuba's inclusion highlights the alliance's broader goal of fostering a multipolar world order. In a world where the dominance of the United States and its Western allies is being challenged by emerging economies, BRICS presents itself as an alternative seeking to rebalance global power. By joining this bloc, Cuba strengthens its political and geostrategic stance as an actor committed to creating a more equitable and diverse international system. The future of Cuba in BRICS. While Cuba's inclusion in BRICS represents a significant step forward, key questions remain about its full integration. How will this participation affect the U.S. embargo? Can Cuba truly transform its economy by taking advantage of the opportunities offered by BRICS? Will this be the catalyst for a global shift towards a multipolar system? These are crucial questions that have yet to be answered. But what is certain is that Cuba is positioning itself to be a major player in the emerging geopolitical landscape. What is clear is that this change marks the beginning of a new era for Cuba, an era of global economic integration and international cooperation. Cuba's incorporation into BRICS not only offers new opportunities for its development but also signals a broader realignment in global economic policy. By joining the BRICS alliance, Cuba is taking a bold step towards rebuilding its economy and redefining its role on the international stage.